ladies and gentlemen, to this very, very special webinar this evening. For those of you who are logging in via Zoom, I appreciate you doing that. And those of you are on the live stream, I'm hoping that the live stream will work because it's been playing up all day, to be honest, and it's also playing up throughout the week. So anyway, guys, welcome to this VIP information webinar. It's really about Business 101. So firstly, guys, let me tell you how grateful I am for you to be here with me this evening, investing 30 to 40 minutes of your time, because I know you could be any number of places this evening, but you're here with me and I don't take that lightly. So thank you. It's much appreciated. You are clearly committed to your growth and prosperity. So well done. Guys, tonight we're going to cover just the following, just a couple of things. I might better get onto the slide so it'll actually get onto where I need it to be. Going to cover a couple of things. It went backwards for a sec. We're going to look at cash flow of your business. We're going to look at retention. We're going to look at marketing because that's kind of important. But even more importantly, we're going to look at a little bit of duplication. Now, guys, when we get that right, amazing things happen and we start to have prosperity and success. So let's have a look. Before we go any further, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to go through this with you. All information provided in this presentation is done so for informational purposes only. You, the individual, are encouraged to complete your own due diligence and research. Now, the presenter recognizes that there are inherent risks, that's me, guys, in anything we choose to participate in throughout life. Now, with this in mind, all care has been taken to ensure the accuracy of the content provided herein. However, individuals are reminded that they are responsible for the choices that they make off the back of any information provided. So now with all that really important stuff out of the way, yeah, I'm just looking at what Ian said. You did right there. Now that important stuff's out of the way, let's get into it. Guys, a little bit of background of where we are. So as most of you already more than likely are partners within the new organization, we are on a global mission to bring prosperity and abundance to millions and millions of people, right? And the goal of that is to reach 5 to 15% of the global population. Now, that's what we want inside of our organization. Now, over the 5.5 years of our existence, we've evolved from being simply a crowdfunding organization to being the leader or the pioneer in the multi-level crowd investing space. Now, guys, that is an incredibly exciting space. And it's TNG, Transnet Global, who really coined that phrase and are paving the ways for anyone that is looking to live an abundance life full of prosperity. So many people have already been able to, what's going on here? Prosperity and abundance, that's there as well. And of course, we offer education. So many people have already been able to improve their life, yet there's still room for improvement within our business. And that's one of the reasons why we're here tonight and going through this webinar. So let's have a look. Guys, cash flow is king, and I'm sure you've heard that term before. It's true for any business as it is for any family. Without the means to provide food or shelter or the necessities, it doesn't take long for us to find ourselves out on the streets. And unfortunately, even people within our ranks have found themselves there on occasion, right? People literally within our organization have been homeless. I know I've been down to my last 50 cents before. I haven't been homeless. I've been thankfully enough I've always had a roof over my head and I've always had the grit to stick with it. But I know people that have been dealt tough hands. So, you know, I'm trying to find my mouse in all of this, guys. There it is. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, guys, I want you to consider something. If most people, like we are on the verge of something pretty enormous happening in society right now with the coronavirus going around doing what it's thing, we can see that things are being shut down. Italy's on lockdown, Greece is on lockdown, Norway's on lockdown, the US is about to go on lockdown. Schools have been told that they won't go back until September in the States. Now in Australia, we're not on lockdown yet. Okay, but it's not going to take long. Literally already, I got an email yesterday from one of the, I'm just trying to think, Caesars. I think it's Caesars Entertainment in Vegas. In fact, all of their casinos have been shut down. So they've got. You think about hospitality workers, their income's going to stop. So now consider this: that if income stopped for most of us, most people would be bankrupt within 3 months. Now that's the average. So what does that mean? It means that some people are going to go longer than 3 months and some people are going to go a lot shorter than 3 months. So we're going to find a lot of people starting to hurt. So cash flow is king. And if we can offer them a cash flow solution, then people are going to be looking to you if you can provide it for them. So this is what we have, right? Now, if we think about it, if cash flow stops, just throw in the chat, if cash flow stops, what are some of the things that start to happen in our life? What are some of the other things we need to consider, guys? If cash flow stopped today, what would we need to consider? We'd possibly need to consider the fact that we might go hungry. Okay. We possibly have to consider the fact that there's going to be a limited supply of different things. Homelessness, absolutely, Davinia. Inability to travel, bills and loans, how are they going to be paid? Exactly. Inability to travel. The onset of apathy, right? A case of the can't be's. I can't be bothered doing this. I can't be bothered doing that. And the reason that case of apathy comes in, you can't pay the amenities, absolutely. Lose the house, exactly, T. The reason that apathy comes in is because we're so focused on not having money, we keep getting more of not having money. And that's what happens. Whatever we focus on expands. So if we focus on not having something, the mind doesn't negate the negatives. So if you're focusing on not having something, you're going to not have more of that something. Does that make sense? So if you focus on not having money, you're going to have less and less money. But if you focus on abundance, but of course, if we are struggling with cash flow, if we don't have that money there with us, it makes it that much harder, right? We start to get a case of the can't be's. We lose hope. And again, I've already said we focus on all the wrong things. We come into ill health and then ultimate failure. Okay, so there are a couple of simple things you can do to monitor cash flow. Now, the simplest thing is a spending audit. Okay, in order to know where you are, and look, this is cash flow 101 sort of stuff, ladies and gentlemen, but it's as important for yourself as it is for any business. So you have to do a spending audit. Okay, this is more for personal than anything else. Spending audit. What do you spend your money on? Now, everybody has got a mobile phone, right? One of these things. Most of those have notes on them these days. So you can literally, every time you spend any penny, you want to take a note of what that is. And you want to do that for about a month. And then you can see literally where your money is starting to go. This is a really good exercise for anyone to do. I did it, talked about it in my 10-step money system 10 years ago. It's a great step for any great first step, right? Then you want to look at your income versus your expenses. How much money have you got coming in versus how much money have you got going out? Now, a lot of people fall into the wealth paradox here. And what's the wealth paradox? The wealth paradox is really simple. The more you earn, the more you spend. That's the wealth paradox. It's that simple. So as we start to increase our means, as we start to increase our income, quite often our standard of living increases as well. And that's why you'll find a lot of people, even in high six-figure earning jobs, are still broke month to month, living paycheck to paycheck. I'll give you an example, great example of a network marketer, a seven-figure network marketer, had $60,000 in bills every month, and all of a sudden their income went to nothing. But they've got these $60,000 in bills each and every month still. So that's why it's important to have that little reservoir aside so that we don't fall into that trap of being the 3-month bankruptcy scenario, right? So when we look at our fixed cost versus assets, we know what we've got to cover in those expenses. That gives us that starting point that I have spoken about. Now, the next thing you want to do is, if you're in a business, you want to look at what your cost of goods sold are, or things you need to consider is your cost of goods sold. And of course, what your fixed overheads are. So what's the margin from your wholesale profit for your retail price? These are the things that, what's gross profit versus net profit? These are things that you need to start considering. That brings us to the next one, ladies and gentlemen, retention. Now, specifically with this business, this 101 webinar, let's look at retention. Now, guys, with any business, their long-term income is derived from their returning customers or their distributors. Now, some of the most successful businesses in history are those that have a continuity program. Now, some examples of that are Foxtel, Sky TV, Netflix, Disney. Now, guys, your electricity bill, your phone bill, your internet connection, they are all examples of continuity, right? That is, you have to pay for them each and every month. Now, what does that mean for a business? Well, for the likes of Foxtel, they know if they've got X amount of customers paying X amount a month, they're going to have Y amount of dollars. So example, if they had $100, 100 people paying $40 a month, they're going to have $4,000 a month, right? Yeah. Just quickly do the math in my head. $4,000 a month. Okay, so obviously their subscriber list is much, much higher than that, but you get the idea. That's continuity. They can then start to make predictions. Now, they'll have also worked out their lifetime value of a customer, knowing how long they're going to retain their customer for. Okay, these are all things that need to be considered when you're looking at it. Now, something else, continuity, particularly in the online world, Zoom, for example, right? Zoom's a continuity program. I pay for it each and every month. They know if they've got X amount of subscribers, they're going to get Y amount of dollars each and every month, and they can forecast their profit and loss. Okay, well, maybe not their loss, but certainly their profit from that side of things. So customer relationship management software is something that you start to think about when you're coming online as well. Sorry, I'm still trying to, there it is. And yes, I've got a couple of notes here, guys. So customer relationship management, they're just some, now guys, some of the examples of the most successful businesses that have mastered the art of upselling, for example, the most prevalent one of these was McDonald's. So let's have a look at that. So we've got continuity. We've spoken a little bit about that, but we've also got upselling. So let's have a look. Now, let's say McDonald's spends $1.91 in advertising. Now, a burger costs $2.09. Okay, so that means they only profit about 18 cents per burger. So it costs them $1.91 to get you through the drive-through. There's your US figures to get you through the drive-through, and then it costs. They charge you $2.09 for a burger. Cool. They only make 18 cents. But the phrase, would you like fries with that, was originated from McDonald's. And this is how, and there's so many businesses that have followed suit in this, but this is how they increase their bottom line. They already paid that advertising to get you in the drive-through. Then all of a sudden they say, hey, would you like fries with that? Fries and a drink? Great. So let's have a look at how that looks. Now you've got a little meal in there. For the same money they spent, they've now got an extra $1.32 in profit. That's money that they can keep. That's 8 times the profit from the same advertising budget. These are all things that you need to consider, guys. All things that you need to consider. So let's have a look. Back to our continuity examples. Now, if you're paying for advertising, it would make more sense for you to advertise for someone and have them continually pay you a small amount each and every month, wouldn't it? Give me a plus if that would make sense. For them to, if you do the advertising once and you get money from them each and every month. Cool, so I've got a few pluses here. Most people coming through on pluses. Great, awesome, awesome. Hey, we've got a good turnout here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, appreciate it. So now imagine that this program not only allowed you to talk about the things behind closed doors that you were previously not allowed to talk about, but it put money in your pocket, month after month, producing cash flow. Is this something that would excite you? Give me a yes if it would excite you, or give me a no if it would bore the heck out of you. I mean, let's think about it. If we're getting into business, why are we getting into business? Why do people get into business? They get into business for a number of reasons, a myriad of reasons. Maybe it's a spiritual reason. Maybe it's their calling to do something. But at the end of the day, people get into business to make money. Whether it's their calling, whether it's their why, whether it's spiritual, it doesn't matter. Because the ends is that they need the money to do the ends. So they start a business to get the money to do the ends. Now, whether it's personal, whether it's a big why, whether it's spiritual, whether it's a calling, it doesn't matter. We get into business to make money. So it makes sense to make it as easy as possible for ourselves to predict what sort of turnover we're going to have month after month. Now, guys, I'm going to bring this right back to the business that I'm involved with. And most of the people on this call are in that business. If you're not, great, talk to me afterwards and I'll show you how this is going to work. But if I bring it back to the business we're in, right now, there's a small group of people that make the most money. And that's not how we want this. We want everybody to have prosperity, right? But the reason it is that way is because there is sales involved. And not everybody can sell. Now, that everybody can be taught to sell 100%, but not everyone can do it straight out of the gate. And it takes a little bit of practice. So those people that have mastered the art, they can do it month after month and generate an income. But imagine if you could be taught those skills, do it once, and then know your lifetime value of a customer. Now, we're going to talk in another webinar. We're actually going to talk about the lifetime value of a customer. Now, the lifetime value as a customer is, you know how long you're going to retain your customer for, or your distributor, or whatever they are. And over that time, let's say it's 5 years. And let's say each of these customers are worth, or clients or distributors are worth $1,000 a year to you, right? And let's say the average retention is 5 years. That means the lifetime value of a customer is $5,000, right? So then you can start to work that out. And if they're on a continuity program, i.e., you can work that out, they're worth X amount of dollars. Maybe you work it out on months, I don't know. It's up to you on how you want to derive your metrics. But when we start thinking about those things, we have absolute predictability on how our business can run. And this is Business 101. This is the things we need to know in order to grow our business. Okay, so hopefully this is making sense. Give me a 5 if this is making sense so far. Cool, awesome. Double 5s there from Rebecca. I love it. Okay, I can sort of just slightly see just out of the side of my face here. Now, I thought we might be here half an hour, but I'll tell you what, we're getting through this. Well, we might only be here 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We might even be able to have a Q&A. Who knows? But let's see how all of this ties together for our business. Let's have a look. So marketing. With any business, unless you know what to do or where you are, you're not going to be in business long, right? So how do you fix it? If nobody knows who you are, what you do, or where you are, you're not going to make any money. So how do you fix it? Marketing, of course. Now, when we think about marketing, and I want to see this in the chat before I bring it up, guys. If I was to say to any Kiwi, the warehouse, what else? What would you say? Any Kiwi that's listening on here. Where everyone gets a bargain. Exactly. Rita Ashen, 100%. Jennifer, absolutely. Neil, absolutely. Okay, what about this one? Gillette, the best man can get. Well done. Prizes for Rita, straight out of the gates. What about this one? Nike, just do it. Oh, you were quick to the gun that time, Neil. Everybody's onto that one. Exactly. You all know these things. Now, when we think about that, though, these are all branding scenarios. My point here is that you know the slogans. This is a specific type of marketing and branding, okay? Now, although we're not necessarily talking about branding tonight, we're talking about marketing and the marketing of your brand being a huge part of your success. So the first thing you need to do with anything is decide that you want to have success. Sounds simple, right? The first thing you need to do is decide that you want to have success. Otherwise, your marketing will most certainly be hit and miss. We don't want hit and miss. We want it to be out there. We want, you'll let someone else in? Yeah. Yeah, true. Okay, so you guys get it. So your marketing needs to be simple. What does marketing have to do and with the VIP club? It's simple, guys. Your marketing needs to be simple. Until now, it's been difficult for some to succinctly explain or market our business. And the reason is because maybe they don't fully understand it. Maybe they don't know how to position the company, the product. What box does it fall into? Are we talking about investment, which is a taboo subject? Are we talking about education? What is it? How does it fit? Now, with any marketing, for it to be effective, it needs to be simple. It needs to be really simple. Now, you have to effectively tell people 3 things. There are other things you need to be as well, but and we'll cover that. But you effectively need to tell people 3 things. What do you think they might be? Just in the chat there, what do you think 3 things, if you're watching on Facebook, then put it on Facebook too. What are the 3 things you think you need to cover for someone, for them to get involved with their business? I'm waiting for some answers in the chat before I go forward, guys. This is an interactive game. That's pretty good, Neil. I like that. How much will it cost? When do they get paid? And what do they have to do? What's in it for them? That's definitely a big one, Susan. Money, time spent, benefits to them, cost, benefits, and time. Yep. They're all relevant. Absolutely. So let's have a look. It needs to be simple, right? They're going to ask what it is. And when they ask what it is, they're also going to be possibly talking about price. Okay. This can include price at that time. They're going to ask how it works. okay? Because if they don't know how it works, then they're not going to be able to explain it. They're also going to know how is it going. They want to know how is it going to benefit them. So what's in it for them? Now, if you can answer these 3 questions effectively, the person looking, if the person looking knows, likes, and trusts you, you will affect a sale. No if, no buts, no maybes. If you can answer these 3 questions and the prospect or the person you're talking to knows, likes, and trusts you, you will affect the sale. Now, what if it's a cold prospect? I can hear you saying, oh, but what if I'm talking to people that I've never seen before? Yep, cool. If you use the right process, or if you use this process of explaining it and you say, okay, this is what it is, guys, and you actually build some rapport and enroll them in the vision as you're doing it, you'll effectively create that knowing through rapport. And if they like you, cool. And if you're personable, then people will like you. Regardless of whether they've met you the first time or not, if you're personable, people will like you. So if you're happy and chirpy, guess what? People are going to be attracted to that. So if you do that and then you explain it, oh, my kid's just making a noise on the next wall. Gave me a bit of a fright. He's going to bed. So if you explain that, sorry guys, build that rapport, do it in the right way, enroll them in the vision, you're going and answer those 3 questions, you're going to affect the sale every time. The question or the issue comes, how do we get it nicely into a succinct box? Okay. So duplication is the next thing, guys. Obviously, we've got our marketing now. How do we get duplication? Well, simple. Believe it or not, it's as important in bricks and mortar as it is in network marketing, and that is duplicating. Networked businesses such as new. Now, guys, the best possible way for duplication is to have simple, succinct systems. They've got to be scalable, and that's how you build momentum. So the issue businesses face when they're scaling is the lack of duplicable systems. Now, if you're in business for yourself, you would understand there are things that you do. Sometimes you're not entirely sure exactly how you do them. They just simply happen. Now, if you sit back and think about what I just said, there's things you do in business, or there's things you do in life that have become so automatic for you that you can't, if somebody asked you straight away, you couldn't necessarily explain how it is that you do that. It just is. You actually have to, very few people sit back and take the time, but this comes an issue, particularly in a network business. When you expect others to go out and replicate what you've done, if you can't explain what it is, they're not going to do it. Now, McDonald's is duplicable because it's got systems that everybody knows how to work. And how do you know if you've got a system that works? Everybody's using it. It's easy and it works. That's how you know the 3 things to make. Everybody's using it. It's simple and it works. That's how you know that you've got a replicatable system. So these are some of the things we need to consider. Now, as I was saying, most people fall down in this area because they don't take the time to sit and think about what it is they do. They don't. We're all too busy. We're all moving too quick to slow down and stop. Now, there's an old saying. No, it's not an old saying. There's an adage, right? People say, I haven't got time to meditate for 5 minutes. There's a Buddhist monk says, you should meditate for 5 minutes a day. And the guy says, well, I haven't got time to meditate for 5 minutes a day. And the monk says, well, then you need to meditate for 25 minutes a day. What I'm getting at is that we need to do the thing in order to get energy to, let me start again. In order to do the thing, you need to get the energy to do the thing, you need to do the thing. Does it make sense? To get the energy to do the thing, you need to do the thing. So for example, fitness. Most of us go, oh, I don't want to go for a run, I'm too tired. Yet if we went out and went for a run, we'd get the energy to go for a run. It sounds a little bit ironic, I understand, but it's true. And I'm sure some of you have already noticed that. So where I'm coming back to is that you need to take the time, stop and analyze what you do on a daily basis. Now, there's 2 good reasons for this. Actually, there's more than 2, but I'm going to give you 2 good reasons for this right now. One, when you analyze what you've done and you start to document it, other people can use it. When you start to scale your business, and I mean doing this for everything that you do in your business, every time you have something that's repetitive, make a note of it. Write it down. What are the steps you do in order to make that or do that? Because once you've written those down, guess what? You've now got a written procedure. You've got a system. You've got something that people can follow and understand. So when you start to scale your business, not only can you give this to your new distributors or your new partners, you can give this to your VAs when you start to get virtual assistants, or PAs if they're working with you in the office. All these things become valuable. Everything, and I learned this years ago, everything that you do, write it down. And I've literally got books and books and books of systems that I've created over the years. For when that time that scalability starts to happen, guess what? I'm starting to go through those books a lot because I need them now. You don't know when they're going to come useful, but they will become useful. So document everything you do, because those tools also become valuable to other people, depending on which way you want to go. Perhaps you want to create your own brand and do something further down the track. Great. These systems become tools to help you build that business and sell, if you like, or to add as bonuses for people to come and join your organization and work with you. Guys, there's so many different things there, but all of those things, right? It's got to be simple. It's got to be scalable. And then you get into the big momentum. Now, as leaders, these are the things we need to develop for ourselves. We can't always expect the company that we're working with to provide it for us. In fact, 9 times out of 10, they won't. Okay? That's starting to change, which is awesome. But every other company I've been involved with in my lifetime, we've had to develop our own systems and procedures for marketing. Obviously, remaining compliant each and every time. But of course, bringing everything into a nice, succinct little box, like we've been talking about with our marketing, with the whole VIP club, this is going to make it much, much easier for people to market. So once we master that, guys, once we master the duplication, we apply it, scalability skyrockets, and that's when we get to the big momentum. Now, momentum, it can be described in so many different ways. Momentum could be as simple as 2 or 3 people a month coming into your organization. It could be 1 person a month coming into your organization. Now, momentum, again, it means so many different things to so many different people. Momentum might be an extra $200 a month. Momentum might be an extra $1,000 a month. Momentum might be for some, once they've reached that level, to get to $10,000 a month. And I love what you said there, Alan. Motion creates emotion, absolutely. And the opposite is true as well. Emotion creates motion. It's that law of reversibility. So, guys, this is pretty simple stuff. It is 101, obviously, but it all ties in. So let's have a look at this. Now, deliverability and distribution. This is a little extra, okay? We didn't cover this in what we said we'd go over, but I wanted to give it to you tonight. It does require some thought. Now, think about any type of business, okay? Whether how is your delivery going to take place? Do you have a physical product, okay? Or do you have a digital product? So one of them needs to be shipped. Obviously, you're just sure that that product be shipped off to the left there. Does it need to be shipped as a physical product? Or are you going to have digital products, right? Now, obviously, if you're able to find something that can not only provide your product, moreover, the delivery mechanism for you, you're going to save yourself a lot in overheads. So people have done this, been able to do this successfully online as well with physical products by doing drop shipping businesses. But then, of course, if the product's faulty when it gets there, then you've got to think about returns and all that sort of thing. So digital products can be a lot easier. And the retention rate with them and return rate is a lot lower. So digital products are a good place to be. And it just so happens that our business, we have a digital product. We deliver financial education. And we're making it so much easier to do that. Now, there was a comment in there before about name changes and things like that. Yeah, guys, that's part of business development sometimes. But the thing is creating that nice little box where we can put it in that makes it easy for people to market, easy for people to understand. And that's what this is all about. So guys, here we go. So the summary here, it is all these points lead us to the next webinar. You thought you were going to get all the answers tonight, didn't you? No. These are the problems we face in any business. I can tell you that. And I've been in business for myself for 15 years since I got out of the military. I got a great training in the military, but it was never ever going to give me the freedom that I believed I deserved, right? So I had to go out and do something by myself. Now, all those roads led me to the point that I'm on now. And I'm living a pretty good life. Most people would be pretty happy to be living the sort of lifestyle that I lead. Okay. Now I'm not saying that to Sky. It's just the fact that I've positioned myself. I've worked hard to get to where I am. And this is the easiest way that it's possible. And we're putting everything in a nice little box for you to make it so easy for you to be able to do. So guys, make sure that you register for the next webinar. Now, there'll be solutions to everything that we've been through tonight. We're literally going to show you how you can generate cash flow. We're literally going to show you how to market your business. And then we're literally going to show you how to duplicate it and get the retention that you want. We're even going to work out some scenarios for your lifetime value of a customer. We're definitely going to go through that in the next webinar to show you some real tangible figures that you can think about and look at. So guys, it makes it so much easier for you to market your business. And that's really at the end of the day, how you're going to get your growth, how you're going to get your success is to be able to successfully market that business regardless of your skill set, okay? Regardless of your experience, just go out there and market a business for yourself that you know you're going to get good income from. So guys, if you haven't already, then register right there, bit.ly.com. So bit.ly/VIP information. And that will register you for, if you registered this evening, then you're probably registered for the next webinar already as well. But that is this time next week. It's the same time, 7:30 p.m. in Queensland. So put it in your diary, and we're going to be here next week. But guys, I will take, if there's any questions right now, I will take them. So if you've got any, chuck them in the chat. And I'll do my best to answer them. We'll take about, we've got a few minutes where I'm happy to take some questions. So if you've got any, chuck them in the chat right now, and I'll get them answered for you. If we don't get any, that's fine. We'll call it quits for this evening. We've been going just on half an hour, which was about the time frame that I sort of thought we'd be looking at. So awesome. Appreciate you all being here. When will the VIP club start? That is such a great question. Okay, so the scheduled launch, the penciled launch for it is the 2nd of April. So keep your ears to the ground. The next webinar for this next week is obviously a lead into that, and then there'll be another one the week after. Okay, now all things being equal, we want to launch it on the 2nd. It'll be up to IT whether that happens or not. But at this stage, the 2nd of April, just keep your ears to the ground. So there's definitely good stuff happening. Any other questions out there, guys? Ask them in the chat. No problems at all. Specifically about what we've covered tonight, I'm happy to talk about it, obviously. Now, does it? I'll have to change that, reader. It's meant to be every Thursday. So I'll double check that. Yeah, I'll go through and check that. And if Zoom's been playing up lately too, so I did do every week. So I'll check that, and if correctly, it'll come out to you in an email. So no problem there. But guys, if this has been useful tonight, then please, on a scale of 1 to 10, give me your thoughts. 1 being it was useless, didn't help you at all. 10 being you got some value from it. That would be, or it was amazing. Then great, awesome, cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Awesome, guys. Well, hey, look, if there's no other questions, we'll call it quits here. Absolutely. Next week's going to be a kicker. Rita, we're going to talk about the solutions. We're going to show you how to generate cash flow. We're going to show you how to retain your customers and clients. We're going to give you the tools in which you can do that. And then, of course, we're going to show you how to market this business